Hello, everyone. A big thank you to Delizioso for asking me to speak to you today about animal rights and veganism. I'm truly honored. So these two topics are what I am most passionate about, and it's been a journey of a lifetime since I've been involved in these communities, and it continues to be the biggest adventure of my life. Let me start by introducing myself. So my name is Alana Abby Walker, and I am an animal rights activist for Direct Action Everywhere London, and the London Chicken Save, and the London Pig Save. I am also a business student at Fanshawe College, and I'm a couple credits away from finishing my program. I've been a vegan now for 6 years, and vegetarian on and off for most of my life. But I think I knew from an early age that animal rights was a big deal to me, and should be to other people. My family would go camping in Algonquin Park every summer, and when I was a little girl, and my favorite thing to do was to go down to the river and catch as many frogs and cool-looking creatures as I could find and name. One day, my dad gave me the idea to sell the frogs I caught to the fishermen at the campsite, since I was the master at frog catching and wasn't afraid to get a little dirty to catch them all. Normally, I would just name the frogs, put them back, and that would be it. It had never really occurred to me what the fishermen might want to do with the frogs. So I spent the afternoon collecting as many frogs as I could, and then went with my dad to sell them to the fishermen at the campsite. As I was walking away and looking at the money I had made, I asked my dad what the fishermen were going to do with the frogs. He told me the truth, that I had just sold them to be used as bait for fishing, and that they will either be killed and then put on the hook to catch larger fish, or they will use them as live bait for the same reason. At that point, realizing what I had done, I just lost it. Full-on teary meltdown. So my dad and I went back to the fishermen, and I gave them back their money to release the frogs. They made the exchange, and ever since that day, I find myself being a voice for the voiceless, taking a stance for the non-human animals that cannot speak up for themselves. I quickly became vegetarian as soon as I was old enough to learn what it was all about. But with the lack of support from family, it made it difficult to stick to, because as a child, I did not make my own food. That is why it is important to listen to your children about their food choices, because feeling supported is a huge deal in the development process, regardless of what your child is going through. I feel like we should all support each other anyway, whether we are children or adults, but that's a story for another day. It wasn't until I made the connection while I was living on my own and feeding myself for the first time. I remember going to the supermarket and thinking, what on earth am I going to feed myself for dinner? I thought about what my mom and dad would make, so I went to go find a steak. I picked up this pink package and stared at it for a while. All of a sudden, it hit me. I love animals, and this was a piece of animal flesh. Other places in the world, you can go and get dog meat, but here in Canada, there I was holding a dead piece of cow. I put it down and realized at that moment in time that I was a vegetarian for life, and that I would never put $1 of my money towards the meat industry. I'm happy to say that as long as I have lived on my own and made my own money, that not a single dime of it has gone towards to support the despicable meat industry. A couple years later, I had a conversation with a friend who I did not know was vegan at the time, but I knew she did not eat meat. She asked me if I was such an animal lover, why I was just a vegetarian and not vegan. I had actually never even heard of the word veganism before, and had no idea what it was exactly. I remember doing my own research for days when I first found out about veganism, but all it took was watching one video on the dairy and egg industry for me to know that I was never going to contribute to the violence, slavery, and these cruel industries ever again. From there I got into activism by posting facts and studies online. I already did a bit of environmental activism at the time, but quickly realized that being an environmentalist and being vegan go hand in hand, because you can't be fighting global warming while participating in the animal agriculture industry, which is the largest contributor of greenhouse gas emissions and the biggest contributing factor to climate change. Whether you want to look at it from an ethical, environmental, or health angle, veganism is the answer. The World Health Organization is the same group of people who showed the studies to prove to the world that smoking cigarettes is extremely bad for your health and why we shouldn't do it. The same organization says that eating red or processed meat is just as bad for your health as smoking cigarettes. Both smoking cigarettes and eating animal protein causes inflammation in the body and is directly linked to certain cancers. We have the studies to show people what the facts are, yet we still have people smoking cigarettes and consuming animal products, despite the readily available information out there. This leads me to why I am an activist. I am an activist not because fighting for animal rights is fun or cool. In fact, the things I have seen as an activist in the animal agriculture industry is enough to scar anyone. I am an activist to be a voice for those who are oppressed, for those who cannot speak up for themselves. I will continue to be an activist until all cages are empty and all animals, human and non-human, are free from suffering. I work with a few organizations who are filled with other inspiring activists who are fighting for the same causes, but the biggest goal is animal liberation. With Direct Action Everywhere, we hold disruptions and educational demonstrations in the community at establishments that still sell products that exploit animals. With this group, we focus on changing the systems in place and not just the individual consumers. We also focus on creating other activists and not just vegans, and are always looking for activists who are interested in joining our efforts. With the Open Rescue Group we are looking to bring to London, we will document the horrors in these industries and rescue animals that would die before slaughter anyways. Being thrown in the garbage, these animals are deemed useless to the meat industry, but to us, they are individuals who deserve their lives. We will also be documenting the aftermath of what these animals' lives could look like, living happily and peacefully at farm sanctuaries. With the London Chicken Save and the London Pig Save, we have a presence at the local slaughterhouses, where we do outreach and bring awareness to these evil businesses. The main thing that we do besides outreach is bearing witness. We bear witness by taking a few minutes with the animals being sent to slaughter before they are brought into the slaughterhouse to face an excruciating death. We try and give them some love and compassion and to show them that people are fighting for them and to stop the violence. We document the conditions of the animals and post the footage online for the world to see and to know what they are paying for to happen to these innocent creatures. We show the world that you do not have to contribute to the horrors these animals face, that you can stop supporting the meat, dairy, and egg industry simply by going vegan. So what is veganism? Veganism is not a diet, but a way of living which seeks to exclude all forms of exploitation and cruelty to animals for food, clothing, entertainment, or any other purpose. It's the idea that if you love animals, then you don't eat them. Many people around the world have companion animals that are loved and cared for, and farmed animals deserve the exact same. There are studies to show that animals like pigs are actually smarter than dogs, yet we don't culturally eat dog meat in Canada. In fact, it's frowned upon, yet there is no actual law against it. Why love one but eat the other? It makes no sense. All sentient beings deserve their lives and the right to live without pain and suffering. Most people believe that animal abuse is wrong, and if you do, you already believe in going vegan. That leads me to the question, if you are against cruelty, then why are you funding it? If you are not already vegan, then you are contributing to the suffering of animals in one way or another. You have choices, and your choice is power. We have the power to stop animal exploitation, so please choose vegan. Your real power is where you put your money, and the types of industries that you support is in return creating the type of world that you want to live in. Vegan means no meat, no dairy, no eggs, and no honey, but it is easy to go vegan, especially with so many alternatives on the market that scarily taste like the non-vegan options. You don't have to give up the taste, but you do give up the cruelty. Veganism is not just about food, but whatever you normally eat, you can eat vegan. If you want a burger, then go eat a veggie burger. If you want pasta, then go make some vegan cheesy pasta. When it comes to other products, like the ones around your house and cosmetic counter, then please only buy from companies that do not test on animals. That is why businesses like Delizioso are so important for the world and the community. Places that show you can be beautiful and have it all without contributing to the suffering of animals. The best place to make the connection with the animals hurt in these non-vegan industries is going to places like Cedar Row Farm Sanctuary or Frog Hollow Sanctuary, where animals live happy, healthy, and free lives. These places are an example of what our world could look like if we all lived a life of compassion towards all beings. If you believe in doing the best you can to do the least amount of harm to others or the planet, then please look into veganism and do your own research. We need to be the change we want to see in the world, so please help me be the change, because that change starts with you, and that change is vegan. Thank you for having me. I am so grateful for you listening to my talk today, and if you have any questions or would like some advice, support, or literature on veganism and animal rights, please find me and let's chat. Thank you.